Hello?
Yeah, hi, is George there?
Yes, George.
Hey, George, my name is Dale. How you doing? I'm giving you a call about a property on Crane Drive. You had submitted something online there saying you're trying to sell it. Is that still the case?
Who are you with?
My name is Dale. I'm not with anybody. I'm just a investor. I buy properties and came across yours.
How do you find those, man?
You had submitted this online.
Yeah. Obviously, everything becomes public.
So I'm just trying to see, you said you were interested in selling this. It's vacant, it looks like. So are you trying to sell it? All right. How much you looking to get for it?
Put a price on it.
Okay. So what do you got going on there?
Rental house, and we're selling it. And to be honest, I'm kind of testing the waters. I'm also a licensed auctioneer and realtor. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Somebody comes up with the right number, then I'm like, okay, well, let's see what that happens. So far, some people are okay, but I don't know. Tell me about you and what you do, because your number is Maryland. So where are you?
I'm based out of Maryland, and we buy properties all over the country.
Company.
It's just my company, me and family owned business.
What's it called?
24 properties.
Well, what are you trying to do?
Well, I'm trying to buy a house if you're trying to sell one. I mean, if you're not looking to sell, then there's really nothing for us to talk about.
Of course I'm trying to sell. But at the same time, I'm not going to show all my cards either. And that's what everybody wants you to do. And I'm like, I get it. I get it. Believe me, got rental. I thought, and I'm not a distressed seller. I'm not a foreclosure. I don't have an outstanding lien. It's a rental house. We have rental houses. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do a 1031, maybe buy a beach house. I don't know. But I'm testing the waters a little bit. And the reason I'm kind of reaching out to investors is because I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm reading the tea leaves wrong. I think the interest rates are so high that a lot of people are staying on the side that would be buying traditional real estate. And that has kind of made the waters better for investors. And so that's why I think investors, the last house we sold to an investment group. The one before that, we sold to an investment group. So that's what's out there right now, especially for rental houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much were you getting in rent?
Something like that.
All right. It's vacant now. When's the last time you had somebody in there?
Left. What's today? July, whatever. The end of June. So they got out the 1st of July.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, they just left. They just left.
All right.
But generally, what happens is, I mean, if somebody wants to look at it, and this is the first week. It's only been out there for less than a week. So that's why I'm like, well, let me try this. And if you do the comps, then you already see what the numbers are. That's why I'm like, oh, the numbers. Anybody who's doing comps will know what the numbers are. That's why I'm not going there, because I'm like, everybody can do comps. You can do comps in a hurry and easy. So I know the neighborhood. I know what the numbers are. And as an auctioneer, one rule of an auctioneer, every good auctioneer will tell you this: you never give your reserve away, ever. So maybe I'm treating it a little bit like an auction, because if you sell something, and I know auctioneers is very exact, and houses, and you put the number out, then the people say, well, there's the line. You don't want to put the line. What does the marketplace say the line is? So that's kind of why I'm taking that stand. And we've sold enough houses over the years that I'm like, yeah, we've had real estate come and go. So
Yeah. So what kind of condition is it in?
it's in good condition. We bought it in 2017. They moved in literally a few days after we bought it, the kids wanted to buy the house. They couldn't afford it. They came knocking on the door, and we said, "Oh, we haven't rented it yet. Can we rent it? Can we rent it?" "Oh, sure. Let's look at you." We stayed to rent the house, and they stayed there until the end. And I watched their kids grow up. So it has, paint and flooring would be fine, but nothing major. It does have a new septic system that has been replaced, but that's because that whole neighborhood has septic issues. So, but other than that, great.
Okay. Why not just put another tenant in it if you've had good success with it?
I told you, man, and I'm not going to explain myself. But I told you I'm not going to do because we want to do a 1031 and they consider buying a house in Myrtle Beach. I'm closer to 70 than 60, so it's basically getting older, brother. That's all.
I hear you. Okay.
We've had rentals for 15 years, so we still have rentals. It's not our own house. We've got some other rentals, so it's one of the houses. So it's like, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
So I mean, I can tell you, brother. I can tell you trying to get the answers and what's going on with it. But the bottom line is, whatever's going on, what's your bottom line? Really, that's all that matters. And whoever comes up with the best bottom line wins. You know the game.
Yeah. I mean,
I certainly understand because I've had this conversation with a few folks, and everybody and I do the same thing. When you're trying to buy a house, you're trying to figure it out, and also trying to get somebody to sign on the bottom line because then they get to commit. I'm like, so I don't know. Would you be in an auction? Put it at auction?
no, we would either, purchase houses and we fix them up and resell them, the traditional fix and flip, which it doesn't sound like this is the case only because it sounds like it's in decent shape and you're not going to take a cash offer because it's going to be 40-50% of the value just to have room to fix it, resell it and all that.
Get it? But, when somebody kind of insults you with a 125 offer, I'm like, really, dude? You're joking, of course. And I get it, but, if that's your only objective, and you're going to drop a number that is unrealistic, then I'm like, okay, that's cool. Because some other people are like, well, okay, what's a somewhat reasonable offer? I expect people to go lower, but it's like, and I tried that. Boy, did I try that? I don't know how many times. Well, let's offer 60,000 and worth 180. Oh, well, that's stupid. So I get it, but it's what's the fair in between? I guess that's all.
Well, how much do you think it's worth fixed up?
Oh, it's fixed up. I think what it needs now, and if I were to hang on to it, what would I do to it next? I would tear out the old school 60s kitchen and blow out the wall between the living room and the kitchen and open it up and put in a nice island kitchen and take out those laminate floors and reveal the original hardwood floors which are in the rest of the house. Bump out the floors, paint it up, give it a whole new look. You got a brand new house. And that's what I think somebody might do with it. And so, that's where I would go with it. Other than that, leave it alone and re-rent it.
Yeah.
That's honestly, and that's when I first bought the house, I said exactly what I want to do. But my wife's like, just rent it. Just rent it. It's fine. And it was fine for 2017 to now. So, but I never did do that. And I'm like, okay, now what do I do with it?
Yeah.
So that's where it's at. And it's good to be in a position that we've all been there. I have. Like, damn, this house is killing me. We got to move it. It's not like that right now.
Okay.
So, take a look at the comps if you feel. So you're in D.C., did you say? In Maryland?
I'm in Maryland. I'm like 45 minutes outside of D.C.
Oh, we're in Maryland. My nephew lived in Rock Rockville.
Okay, yeah.
I will be in Newport News, Virginia.
Nice.
We used to have ownership in Richmond, and we still have ownership in a big one of those commercial development things. You know what a DST is? A DST in Richmond, Virginia. But anyway, it's another one of the properties.
Okay. Are you
Yeah.
from this area?
My sister lived in Rockville because her and her husband Jim used to work at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and she was a pathologist for a big lab in Silver Spring. Silver Spring.
Silver Spring.
Yeah, I thought it was singular. Anyway, yeah, so they left, and my nephew, who's now in his 30s, still lives in that house, so that's like family relation there. But I've been up there a few times. I like it.
Yeah.
So what do you need from me? I mean, I think if you have bird dog investors down here, or how do you work? If you're all the way up there and you're looking all over the country, then you must have some kind of algorithm that kind of snoops somebody when somebody does something online and it says, "Oh, they're doing this. They're looking for it." Because I'm like, you found me. I didn't reach out to you. I find that kind of interesting. Kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I basically get the information when you fill it out online. It just comes to me with whatever you fill out.
Yeah, even though I don't send it to you. That's wild. Okay. Well, the other folks, somebody else did that, and I went, huh. And I didn't like that process either. It was like a robot. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. And fill it out online, and then they send you an offer. But the caveat is, sign on the dotted line, or we're moving away. I'm like, oh, well, I'll give you 5 days or whatever.
Yeah.
I said, okay, well, the property's going to be there. I don't think I'm in a hurry to. I won't make decisions in a haste.
Yeah. No, nor should you. I mean, it's a.
Well, I think we've all done that, and I know how. I think in the investors' world, and I was part of that when we were looking for houses. All the houses we got in Georgia, they were because people had lost them, including the house I'm in right now. It's a foreclosure house. I bought it at auction, and I'm like, well, that was a good deal.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that's it. So that was a good, and it is a good deal, and we did well. And I get it, but yeah, this isn't that. Which thank God.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're in a position where you can just do whatever is best for you to get you the most money out of it. I don't think a cash deal is it, because it's I'm just going to need a spread to do all that work you mentioned. I got to pay for that, and then if I lift it and resell it on the market, then you got to pay the agents, you got to pay the closing costs and holding costs and all that stuff that everyone else wants to make money. And there's there's one property near you that sold for $360.
Right.
I can't find any pictures of it, so I'm not sure what it looks like, but it looks like it's a couple hundred more square feet and a little bit newer.
It's a little bigger. Not really. What doesn't show up on FMLS or Zillow or anything is that this house has a converted garage and it has a sunroof, and that doesn't officially count as square footage because it was an add-on.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. The previous owner did it, and it's just okay. Whether or not it was all permitted out, nobody's come around and said that it's not here. It's fine, but it doesn't show up. So it's like, so, and I was talking to Kenny. He's my property manager. He goes, "That's why it doesn't show up, because we can try and put it in there, but officially it's not part of the record, I guess."
Yeah.
It's kind of blown. It's like a basement, It's anyway. So you know what I'm saying. So and that's what that house is. So that's what I mean when somebody came around and said, "I'll give you 125." I'm like, "You're joking." and I think the record is wrong. It says I paid 67. I didn't pay 67.
Yeah.
That's wrong. And I'm like, well, I didn't pay 60. That's what the previous owner bought it for.
Oh, wow.
Back when. Yeah, and I'm like, son of a bitch, somebody. It was. I'll tell you what I paid for it. I paid $130 in 2017.
Oh, nice.
An okay price. Not 67. If I paid 67, I said I'd consider all kinds of different options. But I'm like, that's the wrong, and I don't know why that's in there or how that's in there. I don't even know how to fix it. Maybe I'll go to the tax records, and I'm like, well, how the hell did that get there? Because I didn't pay that little.
Yeah.
We paid that little for the houses. I will tell you what we paid that little for in 2008 to 2012. That's when we bought houses at 60,000. The best house was 48.5, and now it's a lot. And that's when the market had crashed, and they were basically giving them away because banks were getting bogged down, and Georgia was leading the way, and FDIC foreclosures and FDIC takeovers of banks. So they had put out all these bad loans on properties, and there were all kinds of foreclosures at the time. And that's when we did well. And I'm like, this is not that time. There's been a million more people that have come into Gwinnett County. Properties are scarce. That number we're at is right at the sweet spot. So and to be honest, the reason I'm like looking at this approach is what I said is that I've talked to various folks in real estate, and they're hurting traditionally, looking for mom and pop or baby juniors, the sons and daughters who are in their 30s and have the kid want to buy the first house.
Yeah.
That's the first house, but they're locked out because the interest rates are too high, and the people who are trying to sell their house are like, we've got a great loan on this, and 2 or 3 if we sell now, what are we going to do with it? And they're locked out. So who's out there? Institutional investors. And I could be wrong, but I think that's what every time I see sales, and the last house we sold it to, it was an investment company. And we sold that traditional real estate, and they outbid everybody.
Yeah.
And that was in the last year, things have changed. So that's where I'm at, man. That's why I'm taking that approach.
No, I hear you. It makes sense.
Yeah, I hope it makes sense what I'm looking at, what I'm trying to do. So, and I can dig it, brother. I really can. I understand. Believe me, I understand what it takes to. And I'm just a mom and pop landlord. I just bought a few houses and worked on them myself, and got my guys to fix together things or whatever. And one went down. You're like, shoot. Oh man, we've got a roof on this house, HVAC on this house, painting on another house, the tenant left to destroy the other house. Oh, yeah, I've been there. And you got 4 houses that need giant mountain renovations or fix-ups, and they're not either. It's general stuff. It adds up. Man, does it add up.
Yeah, it's quick, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I could see why people went bankrupt. I really believe that with real estate, it can make or break you either way. And if you take a few wrong steps, it can hurt really bad. So that's all I'm trying to do is just keep on the right path.
Are you going to be, you mentioned the capital gains, or a 1031. Are you trying to avoid the taxes, or be able to roll it into the other place?
No, absolutely. If you want to do a 1031.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my, like, when I do this, what do I do next? And the wife and I, we're just getting older, and we like the beach, and we got a few houses. Now we're gonna have to sell a bunch of houses and buy something at the beach, or sell one house and buy a little condo at the beach, something like that.
Yeah.
But I've done. This would be my 4th 1031.
Oh, okay.
But I've also done, and that's what I'm saying. A DST. I don't like DSTs anymore. I thought I liked it, but I'm like not a fan.
Yeah.
A DST is a delatory statutory trust, where you can swap out a property, but it carries it carries a mortgage, and there's still debt on the mortgage. Well, they'll carry your debt, and they'll roll it into their loan, and you get money back, and you buy part of the Walmart or part of a big apartment complex, and you get money back every month. But then that debt still carries, and that's why you swap till you drop, and then. And we don't have kids, so maybe I'll give it to one of the nephews or something. But in the end, either you pay off the debt or you keep swapping. So I just keep swapping for another property. And yeah, it's not tons of money, but it's all right. 6% payback or something like that.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, it's all right. I don't think it was the right call. Now it's easy to say now.
Yeah.
Should have never sold that house in California.
Do you not like it just because there's always a debt there that's going to be owed?
Yeah, and you could pay it off.
Yeah.
It's not that much. It really isn't that much. But I'm like, oh, okay, once you pay it off, then you got the same thing to do again.
Yeah.
Capital gains and eventually, when we're in our 80s and 90s, who cares? Sell everything.
Yeah, right.
You know, and to be honest, my wife, when I took, I'm telling you way too much, brother. When I took early retirement, just couldn't find a damn car, so I bought a used Porsche 911 Sport. Love it.
Okay.
And then she said, "No, it's Corvette." I said, "We can't afford a Corvette." And she's got houses because she had a house in California. So she did 1031, and she said, "I want to sell one of my houses." So she sold the house, and I just got a brand new Corvette in the garage.
There you go.
So, but we had to pay capital gains.
Yeah.
And that was a big chunk of change. But it's like winning the lottery. You know, you win. It's a big chunk of money. Uncle Sam's gonna get something.
Oh yeah, he's there with his hand out.
Yeah, you can't get around it. So I get it. Believe me, I understand where you're coming from, and I don't mean to be cold or anything.
No, you're fine. I mean, it is what it is. I get it.
I just got to be watching my back. So,
have you ever done or considered selling on seller finance?
But one of my tenants asked me to do that, and I said, "Well, I looked at the Ken, and they really couldn't bring it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to, but I don't want to be the bank, and then you get in trouble, and then we take the house back."
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, to me, let me see. Somebody phrased it like this: an equity guarantee program. That's what I'm like. What does that mean? I said, so that means you're the bank. That means I'm the bank, and I finance it to you. That's what it meant. And they said a $30,000 loan with whatever the different was to pay off. I don't know. Not really.
Yeah.
But then I can't do a 1031. If I do that, I might as well keep the house flat as I keep going in equity and rent it out.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you want to buy another place, it may not be the best option.
I can't do a 1031 on that one. Yeah. And so, yeah. And honestly, but hey, now the president has to say, too bad. It's like it's so sad.
Right.
Because whatever your political point of view is, my dad's 97. And just last year, when he was 96, I was in Washington State visiting, and I was with him at DMV, and they took away the license. And he was so mad.
Oh, I bet.
And I'm like, Dad, look at me, I'm 100 years old, get to drive. That's the president right now. I'm like, dude, he's just getting too old. Anyway.
Yeah.
I hope not. Anyway. So, tell me your name again.
Dale.
Okay.
DALE. Let me see what I got here. I think I do. It's like, oh yeah, George Franco 20 at Gmail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know, man, because I mean, otherwise, basically, we're just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
What you're offering, if it's in the, I don't know, one anything, then when that guy said 125, I'm like, really, dude?
I mean, are you looking to be over 200 or higher 100?
I'm not gonna put a number on it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, it really just depends on what I could get. I mean, I think, if I looked at Zillow, it says about 300. If I look on, there's not much comps around the area. There is that one for 360, but I don't know what that looks like. But so it depends. If I could get 360, yeah, sure, I'm closer to higher 100s. If not, then
I get it. I think that's like somebody has to look at it and say, what's my plan here?
Yeah.
Versus, this e-buyer who doesn't look at it, just puts in an algorithm and spits it out and then gives you an offer. But I'm just concerned about, okay, how real is that offer?
Yeah.
And, when we go to the table, are you going to stick to it? I've heard horror stories about backouts at the last minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so. I mean, I get it. I understand that the numbers need to be right, but I think there's a fair place to look at it. Yeah. So take a look at it. Send me something, Dale. And if you want to meet, send one of you guys to meet me. I'd be happy to meet.
All right. Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Good luck to you.
Yeah. Thanks, George. All right. He's probably a good follow-up, but obviously not ready right now. The 1900's not bad, but definitely needs some work.